Hello, Denise Shoemaker with your 420 Minute. I want to talk this week about vulnerability. If you have been watching at all the last few weeks, I've kind of been running on a theme. And one of my little catchphrases is live your best life now, because this ain't no dress rehearsal. So, I want to concentrate on how you live your best life now. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I even do this. The other reason would be my relationship with Jesus and how that relationship above anything else in my life has brought me peace and tranquility. I've had a lot of crazy stuff go on in my life. Some of it was done to me and some of it because I made dumb choices. I'm just very grateful for my relationship with Jesus, and I do believe that that's the peace that passes all understanding. So that's why I do the 420 Minute, which, some housekeeping, is called the 420 Minute because my mother, who she and I did not see eye to eye on many things, but my mother was my largest supporter of this ministry in particular, any ministry that I did. And she passed on 420, and it just had a ring to it. So, vulnerability. So here's the thing. If you are unwilling or unable to be vulnerable, I don't think that your life is going to be authentic and fulfilling. The trick is, how do you be vulnerable? And for goodness sake, who do you be vulnerable with? So Brene Brown, and I've talked about her before, Brene, B-R-E-N-E, Brown. Seriously, any of your videos are wonderful. But she talks about how courage, that it takes courage to be vulnerable. And that what courage really means is, cœur is, I believe it's French, for heart. So courage meant that you told your story with all of your heart. You can't be vulnerable and tell your story without all your heart. So yes, it takes courage. But the other thing is that, and this is something that Brene Brown says as well, you can't tell your shame story to just anyone, because not everyone deserves to hear your shame story. So you need to be very discerning about who you're vulnerable with. But what I've come to realize is that Jesus always asked for vulnerability. He told the woman at the well she'd been married 5 times and the man she was living with currently was not her husband. Doesn't get much. Let's just scrape her right down. What are you trying to say? Scrape off the sugar coating there, Jesus, right? So it seems to me, obviously, he knew that there's no connection, there's no real relationship if we can't be honest and vulnerable, at least with our inner circle. And how this disconnect happens is what we've been talking about for the last few weeks. It's shame and misplaced expectations and difficulty that you continue to want to wallow in, and pride and ego. We haven't really specifically talked about that, but you get what I mean. So it takes courage to tell your story. But if you don't tell your story, if you don't share that story with the people deserving of it, then what is the pain even been for? It's got to be used for something. And what better thing than to lead you into an abundant and known and authentic life? I think our culture nowadays covets superficiality. All you have to do is open up social media and see that. So I'm urging you this week to find one person you can share your story with all your heart with and be vulnerable with that person. Please make sure they're safe. But I just feel like when we keep those things, that stuff that weighs us down, that makes us shameful and regretful and all of that, when we let the light in, it's no longer dark, because just a portion of light can light up all the darkness. So lots of things in this message for you to think about, but I think vulnerability is the key. So find a way to find your vulnerability, and if you have no one else to share it with, the Creator will listen, no judgment, and I guarantee you'll hear something back. It's a conversation. Hope this has been helpful. If so, please especially share this message with someone that you think may benefit from it. Have a great week and live your best life now. I didn't mean to point, because this ain't no dress rehearsal. Grace and peace.